Hi, my name is Scott. If you have a few minutes, I will share with you the story about my wife and I, how we finally got to the point where we got to optimal health. So in January of 2017, my wife and I were like so many other people. We made a New Year's resolution, we're going to get healthy this year. And we had done that many other times in the past with not much success. And so we're like, we've got to do something this year. And so I'd watched a friend of mine on Facebook over the year 2016. His name was Mark. I watched him and his wife, and he would post pictures once a month just telling about their journey. And I watched it. And Mark lost 90 pounds in a matter of like 8 months. And what I noticed was Mark lost the weight and Mark wasn't putting it back on. His wife was losing weight, and I watched their story and I'm like, this is what I want. And my wife was like, that's what I want. So I reached out to him and said, Mark, what are you doing? And so Mark's like, well, I'll explain it to you. So he told me about the company called Optavia, and he told me how it had just changed their life. So my wife and I were like, we're gonna do this. So on January the 5th, 2017, we started our journey to optimal health. So at that point, I weighed 231 pounds, and I was the kind of person where it just kind of continued to creep up over the years. So on January the 5th at 231, that's the highest I had been. And so like, I've got to do something. It's starting to get out of control here. And so I started, and I had this initial goal of, man, I want to get down to 200 pounds. If I get down to 200 pounds, that'll be the least I've weighed this entire millennium. And so I was like, I am going to follow this plan, and that's my goal. And then we'll get there, and then we'll look at that point to see how are things going and make some new goals. So in a matter of 6 weeks time, I lost 31 pounds. And so right at my birthday in the middle of February, I was at my first goal, and it was amazing because once I hit my goal, all my friends started asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you losing weight? Are you sick? I'm like, no, I'm not sick. I feel great, actually. And from that point, I started setting some smaller goals. And so my next goal was to get to 190. And then I wanted to get to 180, and then again, finally down to 170. And at that point there, at 5'10", I was in a healthy BMI. My body mass index was in a healthy range. And I really liked the way I looked. And so I was like, I'm going to stop right there. I did want to lose a few extra pounds just to give myself a little cushion between 165 and 170. So on April the 23rd, I hit my goal. And we are now approaching the year 2018. And I have stayed within that the entire time period. I have not yo-yoed. And part of that is because through this program, Optavia, I learned habits of health. And so what I learned through this is eating 6 times a day is really important. And so when I get up in the morning, I eat within the first 30 minutes of getting up, and then I'm eating again around 9, again around 12, again around 3, around 6, and around 8:30, give or take. But eating 6 times a day is a really important deal. And also I drink half my body weight in ounces of water. So I have this water bottle that, if you know me, this thing goes everywhere I go. I mean, it just follows me around. It's just like my dog, my best friend, whatever. Wherever I go, I have this water bottle. It's an 18-ounce water bottle. And so I fill that thing up several times a day. So I weigh 170, and with the program you learn, you drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day. So at 170, that means I drink 85 ounces of water a day, which means I'm drinking about 5 of these. And I drink about 5 of these a day, and then I know that I am actually over what I actually need to drink in the course of a day. And then when I first started, I weighed 231, so I was drinking about 115, which I was just upping it to a gallon of water. And so every day I was drinking a gallon of water and following the plan. And it was amazing how the pounds started coming off. My wife, her story was a little different. She had more weight to lose. And so through the year 2017, she has lost 110 pounds. I mean, that's amazing, 110 pounds. I lost to 65, so between the two of us, in less than a year's time, we've lost 175 pounds. So I would love to help you. I eat 6 times a day still. When I was doing the plan, I was ordering 5 fuelings a day from Optavia. Fuelings are meal replacements. And so here's some of the ones I just pulled out of our pantry just a moment ago. This is a s'mores bar. They also have things like chili, a southern blueberry biscuit. They also have chocolate chip pancakes, and also gingerbread. These things are all just some of the options they have. They have over 90 options. They all have the same nutritional value. So if you're like, for instance, man, that chocolate chip pancakes, I like having that for breakfast because that's one day I want to eat breakfast time. I want to eat that 5 times a day. You could do that because it's all the exact same thing. I wouldn't recommend it, but they do have the same nutritional value. So for us, once I started on January the 5th, I was like, okay, I know I need to start getting active. I hadn't been active in a while, but I was like, I'm gonna start walking. So I went to the park in our neighborhood and started walking every day 30 minutes. And I was just walking, and I was trying to walk faster than a 20-minute mile, so I could get elevate my heart rate. And so as I started doing that, and then after a while, I started doing short sprints for 30 seconds or a minute. And eventually by April, I could actually run a mile, but I couldn't have done that back in January. My wife, on the other hand, she was not in that position. She's like, I just need to focus on the diet. And so she did. When February rolled around, she goes, okay, I think I'm gonna start walking with you. And so these days, we have joined, we have gym membership, and we're very active in there, but we could not have done that a year ago. And so if you're in a position where you're like, I have a long way to go, then you know what? Focus on the diet at first, and then start putting exercise into it. So there's been so many benefits for this. I mean, I feel so much better. I mean, I can't tell you how much better I feel today than I did a year ago. I have so much more clarity in my thought, and the list goes on. There's also just a lot of health benefits. I no longer take blood pressure medicine. When I hit my first goal of 200, my doctor was the first shocked. What have you been doing? And he was like, that is awesome, keep it up. Dropped my blood pressure medicine in half when I got to my goal weight. He's like, you don't need the medicine. My wife had a lot of foot issues. She used to buy expensive tennis shoes when she needed to walk, or when she was walking, just shoes because it hurt. When she started getting healthier, she realized she didn't have the foot issues any longer. So we looked at buying the food from them, the fuelings, as really an investment into our future health. So it's been exciting because right now, currently coaching over 20 of my friends, okay, to get healthy. And right now, 8 of my friends have already hit their goal weight, and now they're transitioning off. And when you transition off, for me personally, I don't eat the fuelings any longer. I have learned how to eat healthy, and so I've had 8 of them reach their goal weight. My brother and his wife and my niece, in a little over 3 months, have lost over 150 pounds. So some people I'm coaching right now, it's not that they've failed, they just haven't hit their goal yet. So if you're in a position where you'd like some help, my email address is healthcoachscott@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook. You can message me. You may have got this message this way, but my Facebook is Scott Rainey, R-A-N-E-Y. You can always message me. But if I can help you, I would love to. My wife and I are not superheroes. We're not celebrities. We're just people who found a plan that worked for us in optavia. I'm not saying there's not other programs that don't work. I just would caution you, if you have a program that's all replacements and there's no real meals involved, what's going to happen when you do get your goal weight? Because you need to be going to the grocery store during that time period. So for me personally, all my food now comes from the store. I have learned how to do this the right way. So if I can help, reach out to me. Thanks.